Okay, I already don't like what the 2025 schedule looks like.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It's another week of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you. Today is Monday, May the 12th, into Tuesday, May 13th. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers. You know, those of you that are out there that watch the podcast, listen to the podcast daily, maybe you're on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you, and thanks for being with us daily here on Locked On Lions. We got the schedule release coming up Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We will do a full release of the schedule and recap all of it. We will do that Wednesday evening. We'll do a Wednesday evening podcast. This episode of Locked On Lions today brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. By the way, the Detroit Lions announced today that indeed you can get single game tickets, but you can only get 8 at a time Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So go to the Lions website, check out all the info about that, DetroitLions.com. But they did announce today, you want single game tickets the night that they're literally, they're going to announce the schedule at 8 o'clock. Be online, be on the phone, whatever it is, DetroitLions.com. They'll give you all the info, but they did make that announcement today. Coming up on the program, and a former MSU player is signing with the team. The NFL is making it even more impossible for you to like and watch these games, which makes no sense. Aaron Glenn spoke today and said something interesting about Jameson Williams. We will get into that. But I must start with this. This morning, I wake up. I am heading to a meeting today, and my phone starts blowing up. The first one that hit me was one of our everydayers, Drew Nickel, or as he's known around the east side, Caribou Drew. He texts me. He says, Dallas? I said, what about Dallas? He's like, this sucks. Yes, the league has started to leak out some of the matchups. We'll know everything on Wednesday. But the league put out there tonight or today that, in fact, for Thursday Night Football on September the 4th, to open the season, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFL champions, will host the Cowboys to start the season. Come on. Nobody. I wanted the Lions to play the Eagles. We didn't get to see the Lions play the Eagles in the playoffs last year. That's the matchup everybody wanted to see. Of course, the Lions gagged and the Commanders beat them. And it was Philly and Washington for the NFC Championship last year. But Dallas, is that what we're starting the year with? Cowboys again? Why do we always have to see Dallas? Who wants to see Dallas? And I get it. America's team, they now got George Pickens. Like, it's a rivalry. Cowboys and Eagles. But, like, Dallas isn't even good. I don't know. I'm already disappointed. I'm already hating the schedule release. Do I understand it? Yes. Do I know that the league has got to put Dallas on as many primetime games as they can, because everybody seems to either love or hate the Cowboys. They draw ratings. I understand all of that. But, man, that's the opener? It couldn't have been the Lions? Detroit at Philly. The matchup everybody was waiting for last year in the playoffs. Yes, it didn't happen. But the Cowboys? Really? That's our opener here to start the year? So disappointing, to say the least, that is, the first game. Now, after receiving text messages and messages from some of the listeners and everything else, I did some research. I sent out some text to some sources, and I've heard, this is what I'm hearing, and this is not etched in stone. I am not 100% putting my life on the line for this. But I've heard two options today from sources on whom the Lions will open with. Number one is Washington. at Washington. Lions and Commanders in a rematch of last year's divisional playoff game. Could be a Sunday night game, could be a Monday night game to start the season. So I've heard that is in play. I also heard from a source today that said don't rule out the Bears and a Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell showdown to start the season. Now, I am recording currently. It is 4:53 on Monday evening here, Monday afternoon, whatever you want to call it. When does evening start? 5, 6? 6 is night. Is 5 evening? What's our status on what's our ruling on when we start saying evening? Games are going to start getting leaked out. Fox has some games they're leaking out. I guess CBS has some games they're going to leak out on their CBS This morning show. So just be ready for a few games, possibly tonight, some tomorrow, if they involve the Lions, good matchups being leaked out. But folks, could you imagine week 1 against the Bears? And I'm well aware the league wants some rivalry games right at the beginning, and they want some right at the end. Lions notoriously have been finishing the season in week 18 against Minnesota. Seems like every year, or at least the last few years, and Green Bay. It also seems like they've been playing the Bears a lot on Thanksgiving. But I have heard possibility of Lions and the Commanders, possibility of the Lions and Bears. Touchdown Bears. I have heard that also for week 1. I'm not putting any money on it. I'm not swearing in blood over it. I'm just telling you from a couple of decent sources that those are being some matchups that are being bandied about. Now, again, all of these buildings need to be this guy, Mike North, that puts the schedule together. He's got to make sure that all the stadiums are available for certain times. I know there's concerts at certain stadiums. There's other events at certain stadiums. So all of that gets determined and they put the schedule out Wednesday. But would I like to see Lions and Commanders to open the season? Yes. Would I like to see Lions and Bears? No, I don't. I don't need Lions and Bears right off the top. Do we really need to see Ben Johnson somehow get his first win? I mean, it's 50-50 shot. Either win or lose. Or I guess he'll tie. He could tie. But do I want to see Ben Johnson right away in week 1? No, I don't. I do not want to see that. I'd prefer to play the Bears later in the year when we know Aiden Hutchinson's healthy. By the way, he was spotted at rookie mini camp today, just hanging out. Or Aleem McNeil too. So we're going to get the full schedule release Wednesday, again, evening or night after 8:00. I will be recording that thing, but I'm expecting a lot of primetime games. But man, I'm so sick of watching Dallas. We've seen Dallas and Philly in primetime every year. It's annoying. Really was hoping the Lions were going to get a crack at the first game like they did 2 years ago when they went into Kansas City and won. That was great. But nope, they're giving us the Cowboys to start the year in Philly against the Eagles. And by the way, the Eagles schedule, I was checking out one of the Ross Tucker videos on his social media. Ross does a Ross report about the Eagles. Philly's schedule. The Lions, I think, have the 3rd most difficult schedule in the league. Phillies is near the top 2. Eagles have a very, very difficult schedule. And again, the NFC East this year would be playing teams in the NFC North. And we know this, the Lions division is going to be very, very good. So I was just bummed out to see that it was Dallas because I'm sick of Dallas, sick of watching Dak Prescott. I know Pickens makes it interesting. Is Micah Parsons going to be happy or not? Is he going to be, there all year or not? But for week 1, I thought they could have done better than I was expecting. Lions or Eagles, and I was expecting possibly one of the like Denver possibly or something like that against Philly. But whatever. Look, it's football. It's September 4th. What else are we going to be doing? I mean, yeah, we'll be watching, I'm sure, the Tigers in a pennant race and everything else, but wanted the Lions to be playing opening night. And that's not happening, and that sucks. All right, coming up next, Aaron Glenn spoke today up at the Jets rookie mini camp and had a very interesting comment in regards to what he learned from Dan Campbell about being around players. And he gave us a little bit of insight that worries me a bit. I'm going to dive into that next, right here on a Monday edition of Locked on Lions. What's up, everybody? Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? What's going on with it? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. All right. When some of my friends started using Monarch Money, they realized just how much they were spending on things like food delivery. But now you budget smart, you save more. It's simple, all right? Instead of juggling multiple apps, which we all have, you can use Monarch, check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. Welcome back on Locked On Lions. It is a Monday edition. We are just 2 days away from the 2025 Lions schedule being released. We'll do a show Wednesday night. Excited about that. See when the Lions are playing, where they're playing. So many tough road games. What did we say? 7 of the 9 road games this year are going to be outdoors. It's not going to be easy, but so excited for this season. We'll talk more about it coming up all week. Of course, right here on Locked On Lions. Please tell your friends about us. Those of you that have some friends that don't know that we exist here on Locked On Lions, appreciate you. And if you want to be our call of the day tomorrow, please send in your submissions to speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. Leave a voicemail, keep it about a minute or less, make it interesting. We'll play our call of the day tomorrow right here on Locked On Lions. All right, I heard some audio today, courtesy of the New York Jets. This was from Aaron Glenn, Lions former defensive coordinator, did a great job, and now is the head coach, of course, of the Jets. And he was asked about what he learned from Dan Campbell as far as relationships with players and how to handle that. And he brought up Jameson Williams in this clip, and I want to play this for you, if I could just cue it up. Listen to Aaron Glenn when asked about how Dan Campbell helped him with the transition from being an assistant coach to a head coach. Take a listen.
I think he knew I had the ear of the team also, not just the defense, because I vibe with those guys on the offense quite a bit. And I think I've said this before. Every morning at 7:30, Jamo was in my office, and we would sit there and talk. So I do agree with that. I think it was a little bit of both. Now that I actually look back and just think about the positions that he put me in. But again, I give him so much credit for making this a seamless transition for me to stand here and be the head coach of this team.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Aaron Glenn, courtesy of the New York Jets. 2 things. Number one, interesting how Ben Johnson, it's a little bit different listening to Ben Johnson talk about Dan Campbell than it is Aaron Glenn, isn't it? Like, Aaron Glenn has just been super, super cool about his experience in Detroit and how everything was just so great and how much he loves Dan Campbell. And Ben Johnson's kind of playing this game right now where he's taking shots. He's not taking shots at Dan Campbell per se, but he did a little bit of Jared Goff. He and Matt LaFleur have a little back-to-back or back and forth going. But Aaron Glenn just has so much respect for Dan. That's number one. You love hearing Aaron Glenn talk. I think he's going to be a great leader for the Jets. I don't know if he's going to win there, but I think he's going to have that locker room bought in. Whether or not they have enough talent and can get it done, and whoever their quarterback is, Justin Fields, come on, we'll see. But interesting there, he was talking about how he had the eyes and ears of the players, and the players trusted him. And Aaron Glenn admitted that Jameson Williams was in his office every morning at 7:30. Wow. Jameson Williams has needed over the last few years some maturing. There's no question about it. He has made some mistakes off the field. He's been suspended multiple times. And to have a mentor like Aaron Glenn that you could go, first of all, Jameson Williams plays receiver. Aaron Glenn was a defensive back and, of course, was the defensive coordinator. So you'd figure Jamo would be in Antoine Randall L's office or Scotty Montgomery's office or one of the offensive assistant coaches. But yet he hung out and entrusted Aaron Glenn with a lot of things. If you're in a defensive coordinator's office every morning at 7:30, that's a pretty special relationship. That's a trustworthy, hey, I need a mentor type of deal. And so, number one, kudos and shouts to Aaron Glenn for being there for Jameson Williams to kind of mentor him a little bit. But number two, now that Aaron Glenn is gone, like who's Jamo's mentor going to be? You know, I sat here last fall and there were times that I got on Jameson Williams for acting, I thought, in foolish ways, both on and off the field. And I got dragged for it by some of you. That kid is a special talent. That kid is, I think, going to have another 1,000-yard season this year and blow up. I think he's going to be great. But it seemed like, from what Aaron Glenn was just saying, Jamo is there with every day, early in the morning, first thing, talking to him, being mentored, a trustworthy place to go, a trusting place to go was AG's office. Who's that going to be now? Where's Jameson Williams going to go now? I'm not saying every day he's got to go to somebody's office, but you see my point. You love the fact that a guy like Aaron Glenn was a tremendous mentor for Jamo. So that's something to keep an eye on and consider, because that is a kid that has needed mentoring a lot. So I'm not, going to be overly concerned about it, but man, you think about where Jameson Williams has been and the growing up that he's done, the growing up he still needs to do. Aaron Glenn was an unbelievable asset, not just a very good defensive coordinator, but a mentor for some of the young guys, for sure. All right. We mentioned the schedule coming out on Wednesday at 8:00. We told you Cowboys and Eagles. The NFL announced today, and this is just ridiculous. Peacock will be the exclusive national home of an NFL Week 17 game in prime time, streaming live on Saturday night, December 27th, 2025. Rick Cordella, president of NBC Sports, we're excited to present the Week 17 Peacock holiday exclusive in a Saturday night showcase, as Peacock continues to deliver the best in sports streaming. With Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock one night later, we look forward to a pair of primetime games that impact the playoff races. This marks the fourth time Peacock has done an exclusive NFL game. If you recall, a couple of years ago, Philly and Green Bay played on Peacock, or that was last year, in Brazil on Friday, September the 6th. Dolphins Chiefs, 2 Januaries ago, was an exclusive wild card game that was on Peacock. Bills Chargers, Week 16, was on Peacock. Why is it? Here's the one thing I always defend the NFL for. For the most part, if you're a Lions fan, look, and if you're a Detroit Lions fan here in Southeast Michigan, you're going to get the games. That Peacock game will be on NBC, on Channel 4. All right, so WDIV will carry it. But for all of you Lions fans that are out of state, out of the market, out of the country, that check out Locked On Lions, that F with us, as people say, all right? Cool kids say. What? You're taking away a chance for people to watch the games at home. And if it's freezing cold and they got to hike out to some sports bar because they don't have Peacock, and it's a huge, important game, which is what they're calling it, a Week 17 exclusive, what do they call it? Impact the playoff race. Saturday showcase. I mean, there's going to be a game that's moved to that spot. And again, it's difficult to find it. It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. It's bad enough that for the NBA and NHL, you're going to buy packages. You're going to have to figure this out with Bally's and FanDuel or whatever they're calling it these days. And Major League Baseball it's impossible for some of these teams where they don't have a local channel and they're making you stream the games and buy packages. And then, like for me, as a Guardians fan, and yes, I have the MLB package, so I watch the games, but like when they play the Tigers, I've got to watch the Tigers feed because it gets blacked out. There's a game, Guardians Tigers in a couple of weeks on Roku at 11:30. What if I don't have Roku? And I'll find a way to watch it. But the NFL, that's the beauty of it, is that you can watch your team. And now the league again is taking a big game on a Saturday night, week 17, flexing it there and putting it on Peacock. And again, that takes eyeballs away and makes you pay. And right now, as we know, things are expensive. So I don't like that at all. Like it drives me crazy. As I used to say, and I say on my Dairy Brothers Guardians podcast with my brother, Major League Baseball makes it impossible to watch Major League Baseball. And NFL shouldn't be doing that. I hate it. It drives me crazy. Hopefully that's not the Lions, but that'll be week 17 on Saturday night in prime time, December 27th. Again, hopefully not the Lions. All right. Let's do this. Coming up next, a Michigan State Spartan was a tryout player last week for the Lions and made it. He will get a spot to go to training camp. We'll tell you who that is coming up next. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Lions your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast. The NFL draft is over, but the roster moves and news never stops. Hosts Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the most informed NFL fan this offseason. Find Locked On NFL Scouting on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, so we told you last week that the Lions had their rookie mini camp at the end of last week, still having workouts going on right now, but also they had a bunch of players in for tryouts. And one of the players that was signed today to a contract to at least get a shot during training camp is a name that I had not heard in a very long time. And I had forgotten that he was even in the league, but he was for a little while. And that is former Michigan State Spartan and defensive lineman, plays both inside and outside, Raekwon Williams. Yes, the former Spartan is now a Detroit Lion. This is a guy that finished his MSU career with 160 tackles, 29 tackles for a loss, and 11 and a half sacks. His senior year, he was second team All Big Ten, as he had 5 sacks and 1 forced fumble, and did play in the East-West Shrine Bowl. He went undrafted back in 2020, but signed a free agent deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. He spent 2 years with the Eagles, 2020 and 2021, played a little bit. Then he was on the Jaguars practice squad in 2022, and he was with the Panthers in 2022 and 2023. He then went back to Carolina last May, but was waived and did not play in the NFL last year. But the big 6'4", 305-pound defensive lineman, Raekwon Williams, played a lot of basketball in high school and also track and everything else. The former Spartan is now a member of the Lions. So that was a guy that the Lions looked at and signed. What I find intriguing certainly about this signing, and again, we've talked about this a lot, is that the Lions are going to be trying out and looking at tons of defensive linemen. And Williams is a guy that played edge and also played inside at Michigan State. He can kind of do both. Big dude, fits the bill of a Lions defensive lineman, versatility. But this will not be the last time we talk about the Lions signing somebody for that defensive line. I think we're going to see, we've mentioned it on the program before. I think Zadarius Smith, there's a chance that he comes back. I think there's a good chance that that's going to be kind of a late August, early September type of thing. Maybe more late August than not, because the NFL, the Lions will be kicking off September 7th, right? We know they're not going to be playing on Thursday, but Lions are going to take a good long look at a lot of different defensive linemen. And it just wouldn't surprise me if a guy like Raekwon Williams or one of these others that the Lions have kind of brought in last year was Al-Qadim Muhammad, who nobody heard of at this time a year ago, that ended up having to play a lot of snaps and a lot of important positions for the Lions across the defensive line with all the injuries. I think we're going to see somebody like this, a UDFA or somebody kind of out of nowhere that gets an opportunity with Detroit to rush the passer. All right. We've talked about Marcus Davenport. If Davenport is healthy and the former Viking and the former Saint can play, he's going to be the guy that starts, at least to open the season, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. But the biggest issue with him has just been health. And it was great to see in one of the pictures today on the Lions social media that Aiden Hutchinson was there today working out down in Allen Park. The amount of players, and this is again going back to Dan and Brad taking over 4 years ago, but the amount of players that hang around the facility, the amount of players that are still working out when they don't have to be there, and it's all voluntary, and just want to get better and want to be in the building is astronomical from where the Lions were under Bob Quinn, where the Lions were under Tom and Martin, where the Lions were under, dare to say it, Matt Millen. It's just incredible. It speaks to Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and everybody in that front office for the job that they've done. So great to see Aiden Hutchinson in one of the pictures, and hopefully he's progressing, and they'll have him opening the season September 7th, wherever the Lions are playing. And again, like I said earlier, wouldn't stun me to see the Lions in Washington open the season, like on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. Again, Dallas and Philly to open it, but whatever. All right, that'll do it for us for this Monday edition of Locked on Lions. Thank you for making us your first listen, everybody. Checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget tonight, following the Tigers and Red Sox, and I'm sure the incessant booing of Alex Bregman down at Comerica Park, Jake Riepma will be on with Locked on Sports Detroit and the Locked on Tigers postcast that will be alive tonight wherever you get your podcast. If you want immediate reaction following Tigers and Red Sox, check out Jake Riepma does a great job with those postcasts. We are done. We're back again tomorrow.